Grand Ascension family. It's me, Carolyn Denise, better known as Nisi, back with part 6 from The Revival of Wisdom, Book of Wisdom, Volume 1 by Harry B. Joseph. Before we get into the reading, I wanted to again read from the parallel teachings or the parallel sayings of Yeshua, Buddha, Krishna, and Lao Tzu. Okay? So let's get into this. Under the section where it says Christ Yeshua, it says, unless one is born anew, he cannot see the kingdom of God. And that's the gospel according to John. Krishna, even though born in truth, all things will die, but out of death comes life. That's from the Bhagavad Gita. Very great book if you have it. Very good read. The Buddha text says, in order to eliminate the discriminating mind, there must be a complete turning around. One of one's being at the deepest level of consciousness. And that is from the Lakshvara Sutra. I hope I said that right. And then from Lao Tzu, the Tao Te Ching, which is another great book. Achieve the state of a newborn child. Clear and purify inner vision. Unless you are like a little child, you will not be able to enter the gates of heaven. I think that's another text too, and I'm paraphrasing that. Okay, so we've read from this book. Very great book. Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, and Lao Tzu, The Parallel Sayings by Richard Hooper, in case you're interested. All right, let's get into it. Yesterday, we went over the energy points, which are better known as the chakras, okay? We talked about the hand and the feet chakras, how the fingers correlate to each part of your energy centers within your body. Also, the feet, the points of your toes, and the ball of your feet and the heel of your feet also corresponds to chakras, energy points throughout your body. We talked about heaven, the head is heaven. We talked about the left brain and right brain again. Also, we talked about the Ark of the Covenant, what it represents, the right and left hemispheres of the brain. Okay. We also talked about the hertz and how the Rockefeller Foundation changed the music standard from tuning of 432 hertz to 440 hertz in the 1950s. And that, by way, is just to disrupt our frequency within our bodies. So it says frequency is the only thing that enters your temple without consent, affecting you no matter what. This is why music is one of their most powerful tools. Okay. We also talked about the artwork through the Indian text. We looked at heaven, earth, and hell. We talked about the head as being heaven and the heel of the foot or the lower aspect is hell. We also compared it to the earth, the sky, lava, the sun. We talked about also how the temples right here is considered God, which is Tem, which is a place of worship, and El, which is an ancient Canaanite name for God, Tempel, where God dwells. Luke 17:20, we said the kingdom of God is within you. Okay. We showed the Egyptian text. We also showed the Indian text, the correlation between the symbolism and the eye. Okay. We also talked about the Egyptian winged sun, how the pineal gland is closed and how it's open, what it looks like, the power of the mind and the brain, the power symbols on and off, right? We also looked at the Messianic signs. I showed you those. We also talked about the Jedi pillar, which is better known as the spine, Jacob's ladder, Jesus nod, 33 vertebra. Jesus was 33, okay? We talked about the symbolism between Horus and Set. Now we're getting into the next part, which is part 6 of Know Thyself. And it says, we are multidimensional, infinite consciousness incarnate in a physical body for a period of intense experience on the road of evolution. We don't die because we cannot die. Energy is consciousness. Energy cannot be destroyed, only transformed into another expression of itself. I'm going to repeat that for the back row because I really want you guys to listen, okay? It says, We are multi-infinite consciousness incarnate in a physical body for a period of intense experience on the road of evolution. We don't die because we cannot die. Energy is consciousness, and energy cannot be destroyed, only transformed into another expression of itself when you realize that you are not your physical body, but the infinite and eternal consciousness giving life to that body, to these vessels. Your vision of yourself and your potential is explained beyond measure. This is why Chief Redwood always talks about us being sentient beings. I have said that multiple times in my videos. I also truly know, it's not a belief, this is something that I know, is that I have lived previously in different avatar bodies, in different lives, in different places around this world, as we like to call it, the Earth Dome. I've lived many lives. And I dare say that this life that I am existence in right now is probably the furthest along in the teachings that I've gotten. Because I feel like, why else would I be recycling? Because see, there's a lesson to be learned. And I'm in the process of learning that lesson. I want it to be this time. I want to die before I die, so I will never die. I want to awaken, if that makes sense, right? So that's why I am purposely reading these teachings. I'm reading this book because I want to make sure that you all understand that ascension is key. We are sentient beings. Yeah, identify as this indigenous person, a autonomous being, right? I know that, okay? I know that's my true existence within this form right now. I'm identifying at this. But I also know prior to me coming into this body, I've lived different lives. I've been many different things, right? And that's just my own personal belief. You all can believe what you want, but it's my own knowing. Because I've stepped into this existence. I understand what this is. So it says, only transformed into another expression of yourself. Energy is consciousness and energy cannot be destroyed. Again, only transform into another expression of itself when you realize that you are not your physical body, but an infinite, eternal consciousness giving life to that body, because we are stars wrapped in flesh. Your vision of yourself and your potential is expanded beyond measure. The essence of your being and every cell within your body is inherently multidimensional. However, your conscious awareness has been conditioned to navigate within the confines and constructs of a three-dimensional matrix. So when we are born into these vessels, we are constantly bombarded. Like as I said before, you put on filters because you identify as a female, you identify as a male, you identify as being Mexican, or you identify as being autochthonous or, European, light skin, dark skin. You identify all these things. You identify as being this person who carries a PhD and making $400,000 a year, and you're driving this car, you have this house, you have these children, you do these things. You're putting out all these filters. Okay, you have to take off the filters and get back to your true essence. Everything that you see is an illusion, and that's the basic thing that I can tell you guys, is that every single thing that we're experiencing right now, it is an illusion. And it says, 2 Corinthians 4:18, while we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are not seen are temporal. But the things which are, okay, let me read that again. While we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. As above, so below. And it talks about the life, the death, the resurrection, and the ascension. I'm going to show you this page right here. I don't know if you can see it on camera. As above, so below. The life, burial, death, resurrection of the Christ consciousness. So we go through cycles, and it's very important for us to understand these cycles. Okay. The breath is the essence of the divine. Through elusive to our sight, taste, and touch. Much like fish oblivious to the water they swim in, we often move through breath as if it were non-existence, like taking our breath, not letting it out, not breathing from the diaphragm. Unbeknownst to us, we traverse as an ocean of spirit. The Holy Spirit is intricately woven into every breath. It serves as a life force that animates our personality and stirs our emotions upon our first inhale at birth. It graces us, and with our final exhale at death, it gracefully departs. The teen spirit finds its roots in the Latin word spiri, meaning breath. Thus, it is undeniable truth that breath and spirit are synonymous. Genesis 2:7, God breathed life into the nostrils of man. Okay? Yeah, okay. So it says Y is 10 equals fire. Okay, so it gives us the word ha-wa, or it says yod he wa he. Okay? And it talks about fire, water, the infinite, and the earth. Okay? And that's what it means. So a lot of us, when we say and we read in scripture Yahweh, it's actually Havwa. And I hope I'm saying this right because it takes practice to say it. Havwa. So that is the breath, that is the life, that is the fire, that is everything. We encompass that. So it says, as the Kundalini energy descends through the Sushumna, a substantial influx of potent energy reaches the brain. This flows extends from the reticular activating system, which is the RAS, R-A-S, and thalamus to the cortex, sparking the activation of dormant and underactive regions, particularly in the frontal lobes. The entire brain synchronizes, pulsating cohesively and generating consistent high amplitude brainwaves across various frequency bands, while the peak amplitude often resides in the alpha band. Heightened activity is notable, pronounced in the frontal area, with increased fast EEG activity in the beta and gamma bands. Okay? We have to practice our gamma breathing. So it says resurrection is the head. Erection is the sexual stimulation, raising the sexual energy from the root to the crown chakra. And it talks about alcohol. Alcohol. Alcohol comes from the Arabic term alcohol or alqua, which means body eating spirit. Perhaps this is why alcoholic drinks are called spirits and boozies or booze. Drinking alcohol is one of the fastest things you can do to lower your vibration, as it's been used as a tool to keep human consciousness at a lower state for thousands of years. Spirits equal astral entity and jinn astral entity. Spirits and jinn. So I'm going to say that one more time because I do like to partake in drinks, and I had drinks a couple of days ago. Not going to lie about it on camera. I did. And it says here that is one of the fastest things you can do to lower your vibration. So if you want to constantly stay in a lower state, then continue to drink. Continue to eat certain foods. Really and truly, you have to live a clean life, and you have to eat an alkaline diet. I'm not there yet. I'm trying. I really am. I need to let go of the meats because I can't really digest the meats like I used to. So the next part of Know Thyself, it talks about the eye of Horus, the third eye, the inner eye, the human brain, side view, the bird, and the falcon of Horus is the eye of Horus. And I know you guys have seen this. So it's this part here talks about the brain here, and it gives an eye to Horus. Okay, again, same thing. It's all symbology, and it's all talking about the same thing, which is your temple. So we talked about the Merkaba, which is the celestial sphere to portray different planes of reality. Mer is light, Ka is spirit, Ba is body. So we're talking about the light, spirit, body. Okay? Horus is the sun. The sun equals soul, S-O-L, or S-O-U-L. You are an eternal sun or soul. The single eye is the symbol of the soul, okay? And the five senses of the soul. And here we go. Here's the five senses of the soul. This represents the soul, the single eye, the pineal gland, okay? Consciousness. The body does not live. It is only maintained by the spirit or consciousness. Within Yeshua said, man will not never see death, for there is no death to see or know. The body manifests the spirit. That which we think of and will do to manifest the body to do so. Actions of the body are under the command of the centering soul. The body is an electrical machine that takes commands from the omnipotent cosmic intelligence. Okay? To think is to create. We create with light because we live in a holographic reality. Okay? And it says, to think is create. We create with light. Nothing is not light. The form is born in the image of thinking. I alone exist. I am all. Okay? Man is the only unit of creation that is self-aware of the cosmic light within him. All else are electrical acting based upon instinct. Okay? And then it gives some symbolisms down here of the Hebrew letters, the 22 bones and the skull. Okay? Symbol for spirit. Spirit is the head, hence why the head is an oval or a circle. Okay? It's more down here. Symbolism of the 22 bones in the skull here. The wheel, skull, Jacob's ladder. So it's symbolism. So then it talks about, it says the vehicle of ascension. Neutralizing the duality of self by combining the upper and lower self, you are a soul that experiences different realities within different multiverses. Each plane you take on has different bodies. Your aim is to become a multidimensional creature and not to be bound to just one reality. And right now we're vibing in a low vibration. So we're in this physical, the body. Now we need to transfer to the Ka, which is spirit, and the Mer, which again is the returning back to our higher state, which is in the spirit. So again, we have a light, spirit, body. Body, spirit, light. The goal is to become, to balance all three, okay? All three bodies and be able to be, like the book says, multi-dimensionals. Every night we go to sleep, we leave our bodies. Body's a machine. Like you park your car while you go to work, you get out the car, you lock it, and you go on in the building, that car's sitting there, right? Same thing with your body. Your body's laying there when you go to sleep. You're gone, though. You don't exit it. You gone. You just don't know you gone. You come back to your body. You wake up. Oh, I had a crazy dream. Well, you were in your ethereal body. Your how do you say? Your spirit body, right? You were out in the cosmos on that plane of existence. You were actually somewhere else. You just may not remember where you were, but you were there. So, mental, astral, etheric, and physical. Devil is spelled backwards, meaning the veil. Okay? Look at that. Devil, spelled backwards, is the veil. Veil, the veil. Lifting the veil. Walking through the veil. Accessing the veil. The devil is actually you be devolving or de-evolving or coming down to this lower state of vibration. Like we're resonating high and we come into these temples, you de-evolve, okay? Yourself, okay, it says the devil is actually you de-evolving yourself into the lower planes of existence by ignorance, which means not knowing, of truth and knowledge. When you die under a false identity of self, you have now added another veil on top of your true soul. I'm going to repeat that one more time for the people in the back row. Listen to what I'm saying. The devil is actually you devolving yourself into the lower planes of existence by ignorance of truth and knowledge. When you die under a false identity of self, you have now added another veil on top of your true soul. Corinthians 3:16 and 17. It says, know ye not that you are the temple of God, and that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you? 17, if any man defile the temple of God, him shall God destroy. For the temple of God is holy, which temple ye are. And Psalms 82:6. I have said, it's my favorite one, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. All right, let's get into the left brain and the right brain. We got a few more minutes. Okay, so we just read through. I just covered what we did yesterday. Again, we talked about the chakras. We talked about higher self and the lower self. We talked about how the hands and the feet are connected. The head is the heaven. Okay, pointed that out in several drawings and several different texts across several different religions. Okay. And then we started talking about knowing thyself, okay? And so we've went through a couple of pages of that. Now we're going to talk about the left and right brain. The left hemisphere is scientist controls for side of the body, language, the place of ego, logical thinking, sequencing facts, materialistic letters, analytical, perceives reality and usefulness and details. That's the left hemisphere. This is my right side on the camera, though I know it's flipped when you're looking at it in video. The right hemisphere is artist, which is considered to be controls left side of the body. The creativity, holistic perception, unification, nonverbal cues, intuition, feelings, visualization, patterns, speechless, metaphors, symbols, accepts reality as it is, context. Both hemispheres participate and contribute to all activities. However, they do the activity in different ways. In other words, both brains carry out the same functions, but function in two distinct and very different ways. Both brains have separate views and perceptions of the world. The right brain presents reality as a unified whole, which explains why the people in power have split up the fields of knowledge into different categories. When it is all actually one unified science, which is done intentionally to keep us left brain dominant. Just like we know that the music was switched from 432 hertz from the 1950s to I think it's at 440. Okay, they know this, and so this was all a master plan to begin with. Okay. And it says, therefore, all is one. This is why the Egyptians stated all is atum. That's why you have the first atum. Adam, the splitting of the atom. Atum, Adam, Adamu, the man. Okay. Meaning all is atom. The torus field, for example, is the right brain would see a jungle as a unified entity, but the left brain will see the jungle, the trees as separate beings. The left brain purposes to analyze and break down the unified whole presented by the right brain. The process is done by the left hemisphere so that we can have distinct singular fragments of reality so it can be manipulated, managed, and controlled. If both hemispheres are needed for us to function within this creation. However, we must balance these two aspects of the brain so that we don't become left or right brain dominant. And I dare say that the majority of us are left brain. The left brain maintains a sense of detachment from the direct experience to exert control over it, while the right brain stays in the present moment and wholeheartedly experiences it. The right brain relies on the left brain because its holistic perception, while capturing the essence of the whole, may lack precision and clarity. The left brain requires the right brain because although it produces mental clarity, it can lose sight of the connected between all things and trap the individual in a fragmented worldview. John 21:6, cast the net to the right side of the boat and you will find fish. Move into the right hemisphere of the brain and you will find God, unification, higher self. Mark 16:19. So then, after the Lord had spoken unto them, he was received up into heaven and sat on the right hand of God. Right hand of God is the right hemisphere. Heaven is head. Same root word, he. And this is showing you in drawings. The hemispheres, the hemispheres, the hemispheres. And I'm going to tell you a new word, hemisync. And I've heard that many times. I'm just saying it on camera. Your brain has to hemisync. You have to have balance. It's all about balance. We don't have balance anymore. Chief is right. Red Wolf is right. We don't have balance. So, all right, I've got a few more minutes. Let me go over the 5 elements and then I'm going to stop it here. We have earth, water, fire, air, ether. For some reason, they always leave out ether. They always say earth, water, fire, and air. No, it's ether, air, fire, water, and earth. The base of all physical matter is ether, also known as spirit or ether. It is a substance that is everywhere but nowhere at the same time. It has one foot in the physical world and the astral plane, and it's on either side. The word either is ether, or ether is either. That's what it means. The ether is an infinite potential that constantly manifests and unmanifests itself cynically. The ether is the hidden energy that vibrates to create the physical world we see and know. We are like fishes in the ocean, surrounded by an energetic fluid substance that we cannot see or touch. All things are feeding off this energy of the infinite ether. And we do have the capability to have 0 point energy. I know some of you are, what are you talking about? You're listening to too much stuff. No, it's proven. That's the ancient technology. How do you think they were powering the pyramids? They were pulling down the energy that's expanded within this multiverse. Okay, we had cars that levitated. Our ancients built these beautiful grand buildings, which now we call them college campuses, because those who are in control, the Gujars, along with the non-human entities from beyond the ice walls and down below, came up and they concocted this grand scheme, this grand plan. I know it's going over your head, and I know a lot of you are going to have a hard time hearing this, but it's true. It's true. And you have to know these things. It's not about believing anymore. It's about knowing the truth and recalling what was once done, because the information is within our DNA. It's within our essence. So we do have 0 point technology available, just like we have a shadow government that operates underground. They utilize all of that technology right now. On the surface where we are, we're surface dwellers. We don't have access. Very few of us do. Well, the black budget programs do. All right. So it says the 4 elements are the 4 vibrational states of the ether. None of the elements are pure. They are composed of each other by transmutation. All of the elements are born from the first element, which is ether or spirit. The 4 physical elements are the 4 vibrational states of ether. Earth has the slowest vibration, and fire is the quickest. Each element shares one characteristic with the one next to it. Okay? And it's showing you in this drawing right here. Spirit, fire, air, water, earth. And this is a skeleton. Here's the chart that resonates with our energy fields. Female aspect, male aspect. Okay? So it says, the spirit is the top. The eyes are the fire of the light. The breath, which is here. The water is the liquid. And earth is the bottom jaw. That's on your skeletal face, okay? And again, the female is the water, earth, and it's passive, while the male is the fire, it's active, and it's air, okay? And again, we have the balancing on our fingertips. Fire, air, ether, water, earth, water. So let me say it again. Fire, air, ether, earth, and water. Balancing. Same thing on our toes. It's in our face. It's in our body, the energy centers. It's in our feet, our hands. It's all around us. So those are the elements. And so I'll show you the picture again with the skeleton. This is your spirit. This is fire. This is breath, the nose. This is considered water. And this is considered the bottom of the jawline, which is earth. This is earth. Same thing. Okay? All about balance and understanding what this is. Again, the 5 elements are earth, water, fire, air, and ether. Funny how when we're in science or when they do these zodiac signs, they always leave off ether. And very important for us to understand what this is and what has transpired and how we have de-evolved coming into these temporal bodies, avatar bodies, meat suits. Again, as I wrap this up, I want to point out one very most important thing. Breathing is essential. Before you go to sleep at night, I would say lay flat on the bed, arms out, legs out, take deep breaths. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth 3 times. And then as you breathe in, take breaths in from your mouth, hold it, and let it out slowly in your nose. And then do the reverse. Breathe in through your nose for 10 seconds, hold it, and then breathe out from your mouth 10 seconds. I will link some videos on gamma breathing. It does work, and actually it does help me go to sleep fairly quickly when I do the breath work. Also, there's a gentleman that Alex turned me on to years ago, and he had a good friend that looked him up and actually went to Germany and take his classes. His name is Wim Hof. Okay. I want you to look him up online if you have never taught or never seen his videos. I think it's WIM and HOF, Wim Hof. And this man has done some extraordinary things because he, I believe, has his energy centers balanced, and he understands what this is and who we are and what we possess as each individual sentient being that we are. So just wanted to give you a little tea tonight. Wanted to come on here. Didn't want to make this quick. We read the parallel sayings and we went over part 6 and we talked about several different things tonight. So I hope this has been informative to you all. And, as I always say at every video, be the change you want to see all around this planet, because it is up to you and I to make a positive change. We have got to ascend. We don't have a choice anymore. We have to focus on this and we have to do it. So as well as I'm talking to you, I'm talking to myself, right? All right. You guys have a great night. Talk soon. We are eternally bonded. Peace.